Guyana in the Caribbean, a beautiful mosaic of people who came from the furthest corners of the earth. Their history and culture is a wondrous fabric woven from pirates and rum, slavery and rebellions, swashbuckling adventures, and exciting West Indian vacations. A truly fascinating story. Join us for all this and more on the Aaron Darcy Project.
The Architect of Unity, Eric Williams, and the Caribbean Dream. Eric Eustace Williams was born on a sweltering September day in 1911 in Port of Spain, Trinidad. Like so many other Caribbean personalities before and after him, he would quietly etch his name into the annals of Caribbean history in the decades to come. Let's take a closer look at this famous Caribbean political leader. Hi there and welcome to another episode of the Aaron Darcy Project. Here is where we discuss the events, people and places that make up the wonderful mosaic of Caribbean history and culture. I am your host Ryan, and in today's episode we will take a closer look at the legacy of one of the Caribbean's best-known political leaders, Eric Williams. So join me and let's revisit some Caribbean history. He wasn't a warrior wielding a sword, nor a merchant commanding fleets. Instead, his weapons were words, his battlefield the hearts and minds of a people yearning for self-determination. Eric Eustace Williams, the son of a minor civil servant and a woman of mixed African and French Creole heritage, carried within him the complex tapestry of the Caribbean. His mother, Eliza Frances Boissiere, a descendant of the notable de Boissière family, bore the legacy of both European and African lineage, just one thread of the region's intricate past. This heritage, a blend of privilege in the shadow of slavery, would shape his understanding of the Caribbean struggle for identity and liberation. Eric Williams' early education at Queen's Royal College, where he excelled academically and on the football field, laid the foundation for his intellectual prowess. A football injury, ironically, led to a hearing impairment, a subtle reminder of the fragility of human existence. Yet, this physical challenge did little to dim his sharp mind. In 1932, an island scholarship propelled him to St. Catherine's Society, at Oxford. This journey to the heart of the British Empire proved to be transformative. Williams earned a first-class honours degree in 1935, ranking first among his history peers, a testament to his sheer intellect. His autobiography, Inward Hunger, would later reveal the stark reality of racial discrimination that he faced, the subtle and overt barriers that reminded him that he was an outsider, even as he excelled. The experience left a profound mark, fueling his determination to challenge the established order. Eric Williams' doctoral work, completed in 1938, culminated in the groundbreaking thesis, The Economic Aspects of the Abolition of the Slave Trade and West Indian Slavery. This was later published as Capitalism and Slavery. This thesis presented a seismic shift in the understanding of the Caribbean's history. In his thesis, Williams argued, with meticulous detail, that the abolition of the slave trade and slavery was driven by economic necessity, the declining profitability of the plantation system, rather than solely by humanitarian sentiments. This thesis, though debated and challenged over the years, remains a cornerstone of Caribbean historiography. Williams posited that the rise of industrial capitalism, with its emphasis on wage labor, rendered the slave-based economy obsolete. He meticulously detailed the economic decline of the British West Indies and demonstrated how this decline contributed to the eventual abolition of slavery. He also demonstrated the rise of new economic and social interests in the 18th century and argued that these interacted with the evangelical anti-slavery movement. He claimed that the powerful self-emancipation efforts of enslaved people, from the Haitian Revolution to the Jamaican Christmas Rebellion, greatly contributed to the end of the slave system. In 1939, Williams joined the faculty at Howard University, a pivotal institution for African American intellectual thought. His academic work continued, but his focus began to shift. In 1943, he organized a conference on the economic future of the Caribbean, where he articulated a vision of regional integration, advocating for a West Indian Federation as a bulwark against post-colonial dependence. He understood that the small islands of the Caribbean, fragmented and vulnerable, needed to unite to forge a strong, independent future. This vision was not merely academic, it was a call to action, and in 1944, he joined the Anglo-American Caribbean Commission. In 1948, Eric Williams returned to Trinidad as the Commission's deputy chairman of the Caribbean Research Council. His lectures during this period, delivered with passion and clarity, resonated deeply with the people of Trinidad. However, his tenure with the Commission was marked by increasing friction, and in 1955, his membership in the Commission was not renewed. This rejection, rather than deterring him, ignited a fire within Williams. In a defining moment, he stood before a crowd at Woodford Square in Port of Spain and declared, "I have decided to put down my bucket in the land of my birth." He transformed the square into the University of Woodford Square, a public forum where he delivered a series of lectures on world history, Greek democracy, philosophy, and the history of the Caribbean. These lectures, accessible to all, became a crucible for nationalist sentiment. From this platform, on January 15, 1956, he launched the People's National Movement, PNM, a political party that would reshape the destiny of Trinidad and Tobago. The PNM, unlike the ephemeral political groups of the time, was a well-organized, hierarchical entity with a clear vision. Its foundational documents, the Constitution and the People's Charter, underscored its commitment to lasting change. The PNM's electoral success in 1956, winning 13 of the 24 elected seats in the Legislative Council, marked a turning point. Williams, now Chief Minister, began the arduous task of leading his nation towards self-governance. The post-World War II era saw the British Colonial Office pushing for federations as a means of granting independence. In the Caribbean, this aligned with the aspirations of the burgeoning nationalist movements. The West Indies Federation, formed in 1958, was meant to be a stepping stone to full independence. However, it was plagued by internal divisions and political rivalries. Williams, initially a supporter of the Federation, grew disillusioned with its structure and dynamics. The dominance of Jamaica and the financial burden placed on Trinidad and Tobago led him to the now famous declaration, 1 from 10 leaves naught. In 1962, he withdrew Trinidad and Tobago from the Federation, effectively dismantling it. This decision, though controversial, was driven by his conviction that Trinidad and Tobago's interests were best served by independent nationhood. The 1961 elections, which gave the PNM a two-thirds majority, allowed Williams to draft the Independence Constitution. Despite opposition from the Democratic Labour Party, DLP, Williams negotiated a deal that strengthened minority rights, paving the way for Trinidad and Tobago's independence on August 31, 1962. His tenure as Prime Minister was marked by both triumphs and challenges. The Black Power movement, which gained momentum in the late 1960s, posed a significant test to his leadership. The protests, fueled by economic inequality and social injustice, threatened to destabilize the nation. Williams, in response, attempted to address the movement's concerns, but his efforts were met with skepticism and resistance. The 1970 Black Power Revolution, with its protests and mutiny, tested Williams' resolve. His response, including the declaration of a state of emergency and the arrest of protest leaders, was seen by some as heavy-handed. However, he also sought to address the movement's demands, introducing a 5% levy to fund unemployment reduction and establishing a locally owned commercial bank. Williams' personal life was equally complex. His marital relationships, often shrouded in secrecy and legal battles, painted a portrait of a man driven by ambition, yet haunted by personal demons. But despite these personal struggles, Williams' legacy as a champion of Caribbean unity and independence remains indelible. Eric Williams was not merely a politician, he was an intellectual, a historian, and a visionary who understood the interconnectedness of the Caribbean's past, present, and future. His contributions extended beyond politics. His scholarly works, particularly Capitalism and Slavery, reshaped the understanding of the Caribbean's history. His challenge to the established narrative, his insistence on viewing the region's past through the lens of economic and social forces, left an enduring mark on scholarship. Eric Williams had a vision of a united Caribbean, which was never fully realized, but continued to inspire. He understood that the region's future lay in cooperation and integration, in forging a collective identity that transcended individual island nations. Eric Williams, the father of the nation, left behind a complex and multifaceted legacy. His efforts to promote regional dialogue, his advocacy for economic cooperation, and his unwavering belief in the potential of the Caribbean people remain a testament to his enduring legacy. Eric Williams was a man of contradictions, a brilliant intellectual and a shrewd politician, a champion of the people and a figure of controversy. But above all, he was a visionary who dared to dream of a united and independent Caribbean. His words, his actions, and his enduring vision continue to shape the region's journey towards self-determination and unity. And so, Eric Williams, the first Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, will be remembered and respected as an endearing personality in the annals of Caribbean history. We trust that you have enjoyed today's episode of the Aaron Darcy Project. Thanks for spending some time with us, and we certainly look forward to your company next time. Please share this video and our other content with your friends and encourage them to subscribe to our channel. And continue to share your comments with us. We really appreciate your contributions as this helps us to create better content. Join us on the next episode of the Aaron Darcy Project. Goodbye for now.